We got sick Avery over here.
Which means, AKA dumb Avery.
Ben thinks I get dumb when I take my medicine.
I can attest to that.
You do.
Oh, gosh.
I've been here for like
You
5
already.
minutes.
And
you messed up like every sentence.
The people know you say some dumb stuff sometimes.
Okay.
That's even while not on medication.
Right. And then while taking cold medicine, you say thoughts like I do.
On a regular basis?
Yes.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Apartment Shenanigans. I'm Avery.
I'm Ben.
And we are here with Leah. Leah, say hi.
Hi.
And for those of you who know me, which is probably everyone who's listening, you know I've always had this ongoing debate for the past 5 or so years. Bagel Bites or pizza rolls? And today we are going to figure out which one is going to win this battle. We have had a Twitter competition. Twitter won. Bagel Bites won. I put a poll out.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was super confused.
And I've had this argument in school debates and friend debates, and it's usually pretty even. But me and Leah have opposing opinions. I'm on Bagel Bite side. Leah's on pizza rolls. Ben doesn't really have a side because he can't really remember. So we have a bunch of pizza rolls and a bunch of Bagel Bites. We made some Bagel Bites and pizza rolls in the microwave, and we're making some in the oven. And we are going to judge on which is better. So, this is going to be that. Definitive proof right here on the podcast is going to be immortalized on the interwebs. So, let's try it.
Alright, go ahead. You first.
Which one first?
Bagel Bites.
Bagel Bites.
Bagel Bites?
Since I've never had one, I don't think it really counts that I have an opinion.
No bites. All in one. Just.
All in one?
Yep.
Oh. Is that?
Mm-hmm.
As good as you remember? Alright, am I supposed to do the same thing? Yes.
Because it was made in the microwave. It's a little chewier, but all the goodness is still there.
I mean, it smells really good.
Mine looks like melted brains. Right?
It's pretty chewy.
And the chewiness factor is why I said, is why you want to make it in the oven.
But like I said, if you want to snack on the go, pizza rolls, just shove them in the microwave. They're good regardless.
Okay, first off, the fact that you got, 125 pizza rolls?
Yeah, for like $4.50.
For like $4. But she got 25 Bagel Bites for like $6. That just shows which one is better in quality right there.
Or that pizza rolls just has a better marketing strategy.
No, these pizza rolls are just freaking plastic wrapped around. Oh, God.
Plastic?
These things are not good.
They don't look like plastic, dude.
Okay.
Well, they're probably... Well, first opinions of the Bagel Bites. That was pretty good.
Okay. Alright.
It tastes like... When I was little, I had the mini pizzas, which I'm pretty sure is just a bigger version of what this is. They were literally like mini pizzas that you cut into like 6s, and then you just ate them in mini slices.
Maybe your mom cut them in 6s.
They're like Lunchable pizzas, except smaller.
And then put them in that.
No, I think Lunchables had something similar.
Yeah, Lunchables are a little bit bigger, but they're all cold, obviously, because people keep them in the fridge.
Right, but I think they had a mini pizza thingy. Maybe, I don't know.
Alright, well, we're going to try the pizza roll now.
It's like mini pizza rolls.
Pizza rolls are pretty good.
I'm gonna say, they don't have as much flavor, but they're not bad.
At least out of the microwave, pizza rolls are better.
I'll agree with that, because...
The way the breading, or whatever.
I don't know if they're breading, like, it's so thin, it's like so... But, like, the flavors are better in the Bagel Bites, even with microwave. I would just say the chewiness factor of the Bagel Bites is the most annoying part out of the microwave.
Well, it's just a bagel, though. Like,
that's true.
That's literally the difference between, like, bread and...
But even if you just took the innards
like
out of the pizza roll and took the top off the Bagel Bite, I think I would just like the Bagel Bite top more.
In the pizza roll casing? Would you put that in the pizza roll casing, or do you just want the topping off the Bagel Bite?
I'm just judging the.
So you're saying separate the bread flavors out and just talk about
Yeah.
But like just sitting here, I've eaten like 4 of the mini pizza rolls and haven't gotten any of the rest of the Bagel Bites. All
But and let's also talk about this. Most people, like you were saying. I'll wait till she's done.
Keep going.
No, it's fine.
Just tell them what I'm doing.
We can talk.
Most people will say, when like you mentioned, you want a snack on the go, make it real quick, and you're ready for the pizza rolls. But every time I've done that as a little kid, as a teenager, whatever, the second I get these pizza rolls out and I bite it, it explodes in my mouth, it burns my mouth, and I can't eat, and I can't taste.
Burn your mouth just then?
Well, we had these sitting out for a while. If we eat the ones you just took out of the oven, that'll burn my mouth.
Well,
Yeah, because they were
you
just
never
in
eat
the
something
oven.
directly out of the oven.
Most people do.
No.
What's it say on the box? Ages between what?
I hope.
Does it seriously have an age range?
Out of the box. I don't. What are you saying? Like how old you have to
It's not a puzzle.
I was gonna say it's not like a board game. I don't think there's an age limit to pizza rolls. Alright, so now we've got the oven versions. Let's see if they're any different.
The oven Bagel Bites oven
They're
pizza
still gonna be
rolls.
hot.
Careful now.
I'm so eager. I don't know why I repeated that alone.
I don't think you kept it in long enough.
It said 15 minutes?
You know when it says 15 minutes, you're supposed to keep it in for like 17.
I'm a rule follower. I don't.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Then
Like,
you
no.
overcook them. I can put it back
Whenever
in.
I make pizzas, I always keep them for like an extra minute and a half or so longer to get the
No,
crust
man.
nice and
Everything
crispy.
I cook in the oven, I take out early.
Really? I always take out just a little later so the crust is crispy and nice.
I mean, I do it with brownies and stuff too. Like, I cut like minutes off of those so that they're not like.
I mean, they look good on the top.
dry
I feel
and
like
stuff?
anymore, and they'd be like melted all over the place.
Yeah, she's right.
I'm gonna definitely better in the
The
oven.
middle is crispy, but the outside's still a little soggy. Not soggy, but
Chewy.
not chewy either. It's like a weird in between.
So, do we need to look up synonyms of those words?
Apparently, I think it's a lot better in the oven.
Too hot?
Yikes!
It exploded in my mouth, like I said.
What, the pizza roll?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you
God.
just put them in and you're like.
Yeah, I don't
It's
think
like
you need to
chew
be
down
biting
on
that hard.
Like, yeah. I think out of the
Gosh.
oven, Bagel Bites are better.
Well, I didn't taste a pizza roll yet, so.
Pizza rolls taste the same.
They do taste about the same. They're just
So,
hotter.
pizza
Yeah.
rolls, yeah, they're more consistent.
Yeah, you're biting way too hard. You don't need to like chomp down on it. No wonder it's
You
exploding.
just put it on your tongue and you just mush it a little bit. Like watermelon, instead of like.
Watermelon? You mush watermelon?
Well, no,
Yeah,
like you
with
don't
your
like
tongue.
chomp it because then it like explodes everywhere.
Watermelon.
Yeah.
Like,
Although
if you bite
I
it too hard, it like explodes. But if you like
that's
chew,
right. I also chew mashed potatoes, so don't judge me. Like
I mean,
with
it
your
depends
teeth.
on what kind of mashed potatoes, though.
Weirdly, when I eat mashed potatoes, like I don't chew or I more like suck it in slowly down my throat.
The mashed potatoes. You suck mashed potatoes.
Kind of, yeah. Like
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. You kind of like mush it around with your tongue to make sure there's no
Yeah.
chunks, and then you swallow it.
I do the same.
Right, but you're not supposed to like put this in your mouth and chomp down on it. Like try to.
Right,
I do
you're
the
not
same.
biting into like a jawbreaker.
Yeah, it's not like a piece of candy where you're supposed to like.
Bagel Bites are so much better though. Like really.
I think
Actually, these oven
Bagel
pizza
Bites
rolls
are
are pretty
probably
good.
more efficient because it's a little bit bigger, and it's more like I don't know why you're biting them in half and taking bites.
Yeah.
I think
don't know.
as a
That's-
like food into my belly, like like efficiency, right? Like
What do you mean?
pizza rolls, you
Food
gotta
into my-
eat like a whole handful, right? Like when you eat popcorn, you're like, you can't ever eat it like one
You're
piece
saying
at a
you'll
time.
eat like 5 of these at a time?
You could.
Versus
Well,
like,
usually they are bigger. These are the bite-sized ones.
right?
Usually they're
But
about the
still,
same size.
you eat.
Yeah.
I eat them in one bite. I don't take them and bite them in half. Versus like the Bagel Bites that you just take, like it's more like it's a whole bite in one. Versus like the pizza rolls are, at least these ones are too small. So you have to have multiple ones.
I think you get more bang for
Like
your
you
buck.
can't eat popcorn without looking like you're starving because you can't just like, you know what I mean? It's and that's what I'm talking about.
That's fair.
So like efficiency of like filling your stomach, I think Bagel Bites are better.
So, overall, if you had the choice, you're in the store, which would you buy?
Price wise, I'm buying pizza rolls because you get so many more for like $2 less.
But when it comes to being filled
Just
up,
so
you
are
think
we?
it's about the same? Or
So what
not?
are we saying? Just flavor, Or are we saying like?
Let's do 2. 1 if you're in the store for price, which would you buy, and 2 on just the taste.
I'm trying to see if the comparable size of the Snackles.
I thought you were just making some combination. I thought you were like, all right, that's cool, do it.
It's like 3 Snackles.
So we're shopping, and for some reason we're buying pizza rolls or Bagel Bites.
Yeah, we have to choose
That's
one.
what adults do.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
adults. People in college.
No, we would buy them now.
We did buy them now.
Well, this is true.
Why did you spit that out?
It's so hard, I can't bite into it.
Oh, but you can like crush a
Is that the
pizza
microwave?
roll to where it like explodes all over your face.
See, now I know why.
Put it in and bite it. There you go. Oh, look, it's crispier out of the microwave.
That was gross. That sounded gross.
I would
Your
say
face.
I'd say Bagel Bites. Out of just if we're shopping for them, like just overall, I would say Bagel Bites. But specifically price-wise, I would say the pizza rolls.
And taste?
They're different tastes. I like how pizza rolls taste, and I like the Bagel Bites. So it would be kind of a toss-up. I don't think that they taste similar enough to say one's better than the other. So like to me, they're 2 different tastes.
So it'll have to like depend on your mood or like what you're craving at the time?
Yeah, so the Bagel Bites are definitely more saucy than the pizza rolls. So there's that aspect. So I may lean a little more towards pizza rolls instead. Because I'm not a big sauce person. Usually if like you can create your own pizza, I'll like get light sauce.
See, for the Bagel Bites just taste more authentic to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but if I'm going for authenticity, I'm buying a pizza. Like I'm not if I'm debating between
I would say
pizza and
on
bagel.
that note that pizza or Bagel Bites are more like a mini pizza than the pizza rolls. Pizza rolls are like a chicken nugget pizza or like a stromboli.
Here's another question: would you eat both of these for breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
Snack, I would not eat them as a main meal because they're just too inefficient.
But Bagel Bites has a bagel on it.
So?
Bagel is a breakfast food.
I would not eat that for breakfast.
I could see that. And there's different, I'm sure there's different flavored ones. So you can probably get like something that's more breakfasty, like with bacon on it or something maybe. But no, I would not eat either of them as a meal. Because for me, meals are more about efficiency of not being hungry than it is necessarily flavor. Like, let me stop being hungry so I can do something else. Most times.
I ate them as lunch when I was a kid. Pizza rolls. Like, that was always my lunch go-to. And if you had, like, a whole plate full of them, it was...
Yeah.
It was good.
It's just because you gotta eat, like, a whole lot more.
Yeah. And these are the small sizes. Like, the regular sizes are a little bit bigger, but not by much. But I don't know. Having both of them, like you said, they're kind of... Can't really compare them because they're not necessarily the same thing. But I think the Bagel Bites definitely have better flavor. But...
Yeah, they're more pizza-y.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, like, I'm not eating pizza rolls necessarily because they remind me of pizza, but because,
it's
like...
more nostalgic?
Yeah, it's more nostalgia now. But when I was a kid, it was just, like, I ate a ton of them, and it was awesome. It was either, like, lunch or an after-school snack. But if I'm going for a pizza flavor, I'm ordering a pizza.
If you can afford a pizza.
A large pizza from Domino's is like $8 carry out. I can afford that.
And
if I can spend $6.50 on 25 Bagel Bites,
point.
then I can spend $8 on a large pizza from Domino's.
It's still cheaper though.
True.
Yeah, but
it is.
You would get more food from that pizza than you would from 25 Bagel Bites.
Yeah.
Than a large pizza. You know what I'm saying? And I still find myself right now eating more of the pizza rolls.
And now you're really getting into like efficiency of like calories or like how full I'm gonna be, which is a fair assessment, but I don't think when you're deciding between Bagel Bites or pizza rolls you're quite at that point.
So Ben said his piece about like what he would overall decide. Did you?
Yeah, I talked about it when you walked away.
Okay.
I said like the pizza rolls are probably still what I would choose because they're cheaper. There's more of them, but for more of a pizza-y flavor and like a taste like aspect, I would definitely pick the Bagel Bites because they just have a deeper, like richer flavor.
Okay, so.
And you? I'm sure you didn't change your mind.
Of course not. Neither of us did.
I did not change my mind.
Okay.
But.
So, do you have like a little spiel to say about the two?
Of course he does.
Because we didn't give like definitive what we would pick results.
I think.
Because that'll be the next round.
So, price wise, I think Bagel Bites, like, we got what, like 125 pizza rolls for $4 or 25 Bagel Bites for $6.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Bagel Bites are much more filling compared to pizza rolls, how Ben mentioned. Mm-hmm. It's like popcorn, you have to eat like a handful of them. Mm-hmm. And I think if you try to even that out, it would be about the same.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And so I think even price wise, from one, probably nostalgia, to taste, and just from price, I think I would still choose Bagel Bites over pizza rolls.
Yeah.
I will say the sizing is weird. I know you can get like a 6 piece of Bagel Bites and also 12, and I guess you got 25. I don't know, like the different sizes. Yeah, it was a weird
numbering system. Yeah.
I think it's just arbitrary.
Probably. And they probably don't even count. They probably just throw them in there and you never count yourself. So, like...
So, price-wise and taste, I believe I would still go Bagel Bites. And I'm trying to be unbiased. Like, these pizza rolls were better than what I remembered. Mm-hmm. But still, like, the taste, like I said, it seemed more artificial and not genuine.
Right.
Okay. So, definitive, like, if you had to pick one over the other round, we'll go with that now. So, I would go with Bagel Bites.
I'm still going with pizza roll. like you said, I feel
That's
like
fine.
the nostalgia is playing far more of a role than I thought it would. Mm-hmm. Because as an adult, let's be honest, neither of these are that great. Like, at the end of the day, here is smiling eating a bite. Like, they're not. Like I said, I'd rather have a regular pizza than either of these.
It'd be more
options.
of a novelty item at this point. Like, it wouldn't be a consistent thing we get on the grocery list for sure. But like, I could
or for a podcast,
or for a podcast, which is what this pretty much was specifically for.
So, what is your definitive, like...
My definitive answer is Bagel Bites, which is at no one's surprise, but... Yeah, I mean, we have this recorded, we can look back on it now, see what...
Like, that was a good use of our time?
Yeah. I mean, why isn't it?
I mean, it settles some kind of...
we could have put effort towards, like, solving world hunger or something of effort. Like,
in the 10 minutes that we recorded this podcast?
Hey, 20 minutes.
Sometimes, really you make leaps and bounds, and sometimes it's like months and you don't get a breakthrough.
Fair.
Alright.
That's really deep.
So...
These Rolls podcast got really deep really quick.
So... I don't know if it was you or someone else, but I used to watch those videos on YouTube about
pizza rolls and bagel bites.
No,
probably.
You knowing you? Yes.
I don't think I've ever actually looked that up. Good job.
Well, guess you know what you'll be doing later.
No, it was like BuzzFeed video. It's like Worth It. They do like a $5 pizza to like $100 pizza or like $1,000 pizza. Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, like they go to different places. Like
there's a $1,000 piece of pizza.
Maybe. Like one specific one I remember, it was like a ice cream, like $1 ice cream cone to like a probably around $1,000 ice cream cone that had like gold on it as well that you could eat,
right?
And stuff like that. And like a lot of times they do like the extremes, like cheap to expensive, or
cheap. They did it with like cheeseburgers and coffee and stuff. Yeah,
the cheap middle ground, then expensive.
Right.
And most of the time they don't pick the expensive one unless it's like the experience of being there and trying it was what was worth it, not the actual food itself.
Fair.
Okay, I think one was
So side note, they're pretty good combined.
Really?
Yeah.
You ate that thing that I made?
Yeah, it was also like a few too many, so it was really cool.
There was a lot of pizza flavor going on.
Well, no, it's just a big mouthful, but they are pretty good combined. Why do you eat them in 2 bites?
I have a small and I wanted to appreciate the flavor.
Don't wink at me.
I actually didn't wink.
Oh. Your eye definitely went, like, twitched then.
I was chewing.
You like that?
While blinking?
While blinking?
While blinking? Yikes. He blinks with every bite. That would be a weird way to eat. Except for you did tell me you have a weird thing about eating.
I've never noticed that about you. Eating, blinking every time you
See, you're not eating these in a specific way.
No, that's what she was saying. That was the joke.
We're all just lost right now.
It's fine. Just nod.
See, but like you're not eating these in a way like you eat your normal food. Like there's no pattern to this.
No. This isn't the type of thing.
There's no pattern.
Eat.
Yeah.
It's not the
you have. Well, it's because you didn't open your drink. That's why.
No, I would be eating it like that, but we're sharing, so I can't plan it out like I'm sure with other people.
It's true.
Okay.
Like, I'm eating more bagel bites and pizza rolls, but if I really was, like, this is my plate, I would be eating it out.
He would. He does it with everything.
Would you, like, alternate?
All right,
I'll probably eat more pizza rolls than bagel bites, pizza less.
I got a question. Soup.
What about soup?
So a bowl of soup, right, has like noodles or like carrots or potato chunks.
Like how soup is, yes.
Yeah.
You got a point. I know what you're trying to say.
So when you do your evening out, how do you eat soup with noodles and carrots and chicken and whatever?
Is that just one of those things you can't really
even out? Just eat it as it spoons up? Because like you're gonna have more broth than you will anything else.
With soup and like ramen, I will.
Ramen's a bit different because
he's not talking about like a multifaceted soup.
So if I'm eating soup,
I'm just saying like homemade chicken noodle soup.
I will try to eat the noodles, but then when the broth is like really high and I can't see anything, I'll try to eat more broth. But no matter what you do, you're gonna have broth again. But
right. I just want to know how bad it messes with your OCD, basically.
Not that bad.
You're not like angry and upset after you eat a bowl of soup.
He's sitting there with like the spoon in his hand.
Not really, because usually with soup I don't like the broth by itself anyway. I usually just drain it.
Right. Yep. No, I agree.
So yeah, that doesn't bother me too much, unless it's like the chicken gnocchi soup at Olive Garden. That's good.
There's no like broth left with that. You just soak it up with your breadsticks.
Yeah, it's so good.
There's no question of that one for sure.
But yeah, most of the time I'll just like eat it and I'll just search for whatever's left in there.
See, but it's weird though, because the day you told me about that, we were hanging out, you told me that you like have to do everything like portions, and then we went to eat and I didn't notice it. Like I wasn't thinking about it even though you had just told me, and I didn't notice it being like
because his pattern is weird. It's how whatever tastes better at the time.
Wait, what do you mean?
It's not like his favorite flavor.
I guess I wasn't like, we were talking and having conversation, so I wasn't necessarily paying attention to your plate and like what had been eaten and like what proportion of what had been eaten. Because I was, even though you had just told me, my brain wasn't like, oh, I should watch him and see if he actually does this.
But if you could go back, you would watch it.
Oh, I watch him eat every time.
I mean, like, but you had told me, and I still, like, didn't even think to look for it, you know? Because it wasn't, unless I'm around you all the time and I'm specifically focusing on it, if you think about it, when you're eating with someone, it's not necessarily like you're looking at their plate while they're eating.
I do.
Well,
I definitely
I'll glance down at it, but when I'm having a conversation across the table, I'm not like looking at their plate.
I think this might be like a guy thing, because whenever I'm on a date, like now to back in high school days, I would always pace my eating to the person I'm with. Because I never wanted.
That sounds just like you.
I would like for some reason this specific time at Panera Bread, I was almost done my sandwich, but I was like, crap, I should slow down because they're not done theirs yet. So like I always try to wait for my last bite to be almost theirs last bite, or have them finish first. That's just how, I don't know if it's because I don't want to look like I'm like a glutton eating fast or what. I think it's polite. I don't know why I do it.
Because you're nice. You always make sure like everyone is having a good time or whatever. And it's you spreading out your food to eat it in an equal quantity down, and it's just you and your evenness.
I feel like me being nice is not the reason
why. You can see the pattern like across different facets of your personality is what I mean.
Yeah, there's definitely probably OCD in that, but at the same time, like, once one person's done with their meal, it does kind of make it a little awkward. Especially if there's, like, so much more on the other person's plate that, like, you're done and they've got, like, half of their stuff left. I get that, but I don't think I ever think about it consciously. I think subconsciously I take care of it.
I do to a certain point. like if you're new with somebody, like you're eating with your new best friend at work or whatever, and you're still like kind of figuring out the other person. But once you're comfortable, nope, I'll finish and I'll just sit there and talk to you. I still go with you.
Aw.
I definitely don't care. I just rush because I'm so tired. By the time I eat, I'm tired of being hungry that I just wanted to stop feeling hungry.
Like I can't.
So I eat super fast all the time.
Like the last thing like we actually like made that we both ate rather than us cooking separately was last week when we made the stir fry.
Yeah.
And when we were eating that, I remember we were watching some show. I don't know what we were watching, but like I was eating it somewhat slow. I think I was playing Spider-Man actually.
Yeah, you were, and you were eating slow.
Yeah.
And I just ate because I was hungry.
But like, because I saw how fast you were eating, I was like, damn, I feel like I should finish mine.
You did, because you even said something. You're like, oh, I've hardly like eaten any of this. And you like sat the controller down and like ate.
I don't know.
That definitely sounds more like an OCD thing than like a courtesy kind of action. But that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
On the first couple dates, though, I do see your point there, and that does sound more like a courtesy thing. Because you don't want to be like done and then like fold your napkin and just like sit it there.
Yeah, and then they feel like you're staring at them.
So, yeah, and then you feel like you have to dominate the conversation because like they're still eating and like have food in their mouth and you're like, crap, it's the first date and I'm the one who has to talk all the time.
Just like,
and the other person's just talking to you while you're eating.
Which is why you should not bring a first date to Chipotle and get a burrito.
Dude, I did that one time and like we ate it outside and it was a burrito and it just like fell apart like all over the place.
I think it's great to do for a first date because it's like it levels the playing field.
Agreed.
Yeah,
it
right?
can,
like,
but like
it's
at the same
funny.
time, like like if you're eating and it all falls apart and then you're like, oh crap, you want to eat the food, so you look like a freaking monster just eating it with your fingers, getting all this like everything.
So like it gets past
just
that weird awkwardness.
That's what I'm saying.
Right? Like it forces you to be past that. Like you said, it's kind of like a good icebreaker.
Yeah, but like if you are going to Chipotle, I would say get a bowl.
So it depends on, I guess, who you're with. Like if the other person seems really fancy, or you want to kind of like not fancy,
what
but
makes them seem fancy?
Don't start.
Oh gosh, pass.
What?
We'll give that later.
Well, no, that's gonna be a rabbit hole. Like, not because I have anything specific, but like, you know how that happens.
Before you're on a first date with someone, what would make them fancy? That you would be like, oh, this person needs to be
somebody that you feel
work.
like you want to impress, or like you feel like
but
you're not necessarily on the same level as them, so
like
you're trying extra hard.
They're out of your league, kind of thing, or like.
But like if you take some,
maybe a little bit, like you're like they seem super, like maybe not super, but more formal than you do, and you're a pretty casual person.
Okay, that makes sense.
So you want to try to meet them where they're at, and they're trying to come down a little bit, maybe or maybe not.
The way I see
you
it
don't
is like
necessarily want to do that. But
met someone at work, and at work they always wear like the nicer clothes compared to everyone else.
Right? Yeah, they're like slightly above.
You're like, let's pass on Chipotle and go somewhere else.
Right, like go somewhere where you eat with like a knife and a fork at least, versus like
you can eat with a knife and a fork at Chipotle.
Fisting like burritos or burgers.
See, but at the same time, like if you can't go on a first date with someone and be comfortable with who you are, like
like I feel like you should
I don't think it's bad not being yourself.
Not on the first date.
Yeah, not on the first date. You can't just go like I can't go on the first like depending on how I met the person or something. I can't just be like, so Kingdom Hearts.
Well,
not on the first date. Yeah, you have to dose yourself out to new people for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So okay. But you also want to set a good first impression. Like, oh, I can be, like I can dress up, but like I'm not super comfortable in a tie and like suit, but like you can get me into like a tie and shirt, like in khakis with my shirt tucked in.
Yeah.
That's pretty fancy for me.
Understand.
But like other people,
your fancy
like
is
not.
Weird because when we had to dress up for work when we worked together, and everyone like came in with like a slacks, a shirt and tie, he wore suspenders.
Yeah, I wear suspenders and a tie.
Dude,
like
suspenders are the
it's
bomb,
super.
though. I
like,
love suspenders.
If I had a bow tie, I would have worn a bow tie.
But for me, like when I saw you wear that, in my head, suspenders are more of like a comedic thing. So I'm like, why are you wearing that?
No,
comedic.
They're like classic.
No, they're
gentlemen,
classy. I like
50s era.
Like people complimented you on that. Like,
oh yeah, okay. No, yeah, it's definitely like a classic gentleman.
It definitely confused me when I saw that.
Oh.
I
Do you want more Bagel Bites?
I confuse a lot of males sometimes when they meet me. It's okay.
What does that even mean? Explain. No, that needs explaining. What do you mean?
It depends on. So it depends on the environment you meet me in. Like a lot of times, if you meet me at work, I come across either gay or very metro.
Gay?
Yeah, it's very common.
Like,
it's not.
If anything, metrosexual, I would say.
Okay, that maybe, but like
because a lot of my like mannerisms and stuff. So it's kind of a twofold thing for that. Is like my mannerisms and the fact that I talk with my hands, and then being well dressed and the way my clothes fit, because I wear a lot of like brighter colors and like floral.
You dress like a hipster.
Or so it's either that or kind of gay metro type of thing.
Gotcha.
So those two things together,
like I would say being metro is more of a compliment because like you know how to dress.
That's true.
I see it like almost more as a negative because it's kind of, but it could just be like my interpretation or connotation of the word.
That's true.
Because like my personality is not very that way at all.
I mean, I wouldn't say mine is either.
No. But so it's like the definition or whatever for most people is like if you dress kind of like a slob, then you're like, you know,
a slob.
Well, no, you're like a man's man or whatever because you don't care about the rules or whatever. And then if you dress slightly nicer or whatever, then like you're automatically metro, and it's like you're halfway to being gay practically, which is not like to me that is kind of like for me to be told that is kind of a negative because like it's not even close. Like it's definitely much more to the opposite end of the spectrum. It's just I can dress well.
I mean, with my mom, when we were growing up, she always told us if you can dress well, wear nicer clothes. Like I wore sweatpants to school once. She yelled at me, and she's like, "Some people can't afford them. So if you can, wear
the best that you can."
But I remember specifically in high school, this one girl, Abby Burnett, she called me Gavery.
Oh,
Gavery?
No.
Oh,
yeah, that's nice.
That's awesome.
Because I wore a purple shirt and I think a pink shirt the next day or something, and because I told her like purple was my favorite color, she was like, "Oh, you're Gavery, you're gay because you like that color." Like, one, she was probably messing with me. Two,
it's weird, like associations that kids make, anyways.
It was like freshman year of high school.
Sexuality, like that,
right?
Yeah,
like it was freshman year of high school. One people like still immature as well, but I'm like, it's just a color. Why can't I wear it? Why can't I like that color?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Right.
Understood.
That's just one specific thing I thought about when you said you were wearing bright colors and stuff.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just like for people that like they see like 3 or 4 things that kind of are commonly associated one way. And then they're like, okay, check. Okay, he's probably this way. And then they have like a 2 or 5 minute conversation, and they're like, yeah, no, he's not at all. I'm not confused anymore.
You mentioned someone said like you could be gay because you talk with your hands. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I've never heard that
like,
either.
Just like I guess some of like how I use my hands and stuff. Like
the way you move your hands look gay.
Right. I guess because it seems like I have more flair on them or whatever. Like, yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
I've never like associated that
like
with
one or two
sexuality
people.
either.
It's only been 1 or 2 people that have said specifically that.
Like I do nothing but talk with my hands, and people like call me out on that.
Right,
like,
but your gestures, I guess, are more like rigid and like specific. Yeah. Whereas like sometimes with mine, like I'm like that, and I'm like I mean fork, but I can't come up with the word, so I like do this because I don't know, and it helps me think through it.
That kind of reminds me of just how your brain works, because when you can't think of something, you just say the dingle dongle or the doodle doo.
Yes, exactly.
So he's a little mermaid.
It's just a physical manifestation of what's going on in my brain that like. This happens.
I think I said this on the
and I think it's just more because I'm goofy
that episode
in general.
That episode of SpongeBob when he's trying to figure out like I think he was like a waiter at the Krusty Krab when they made it all fancy.
Yes.
And like he can't remember something really simple.
He can't remember his name.
Yeah, his name, and like in his brain, it's just them in chaos. This everything on fire.
Yeah, them pulling out the filing cabinets. Yeah. And he's just standing there.
And then his brain like splits in half.
That's what I just pictured when you mentioned that.
Would you like some more cheese with that, sir? And like grates his bottom onto somebody else's plate. I love SpongeBob.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird thing that.
This conversation got super off topic.
I mean, we finished the topic.
Welcome to Shenanigans.
I was gonna say I've heard most of the podcast at this point, and the regular topic stays for about a solid 10 minutes, and then after that, it's like. up for grabs.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's our normal conversations.
I mean, even like this morning, I asked Pat, I was like, so what do you guys want? Like, do you want us to do like different things? And he was like, honestly, I just like when you guys ramble. Okay.
Literally, we could just sit down and this is a normal conversation that we would have any night, like at any point or whatever.
Specifically,
and we just hit record.
When we first started it, we would like start talking. I'm like, shut up, we have to say this for the podcast. He's like, this is just us talking. And even last night, I think, when we were watching YouTube, we
weren't doing anything important.
We had some kind of deep conversation. You're like, we should have saved it for the podcast, man.
Oh, what were we? We were talking about. We watched the Spider-Man analysis between Tobey Maguire and
Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland, and the PS4 Spider-Man.
And the PS4 game, and then how growing up that interprets or not interprets.
What's your Spider-Man?
Right.
When as you grew up, I grew up with all of them.
Right, and how you associate
Which is
that
weird
with.
though,
because
we've
you
had
did
3
grow up
Spider-Mans
with
in
all
our
of them.
lifetime.
But I kind of don't really consider Tom Holland my Spider-Man because I was grown up by the time he was a thing. At least for me, not kind of. I was much over 18 at that point.
I mean, Civil War when he got introduced was 2016.
Yeah.
Then Homecoming was 2017 and Infinity War 2018.
For us, Tobey Maguire was Spider-Man for such a long time.
Right. And that's what I associate with as Spider-Man.
2002 to I think Spider-Man 3 came out in 2006, 2008 maybe.
Yeah.
Right. And then they rebooted it so quickly because Andrew Garfield was 2012.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I commonly associate him a little bit more than...
Not that I didn't like him, but like I said, growing up with Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, just like that, when I think of Spider-Man, I think Tobey Maguire.
Image.
And I always think, whenever I think of him in the 3rd movie where he's strolling down the street trying to be a BA in that song, and because he's got the venom. Oh, gosh.
So many people point out that scene when they say the 3rd movie is the worst.
Because it's so memorable.
But it's... People were like, I hate that scene, I hate what they did with the character, but Peter Parker's a nerd. If a nerd thinks he's badass, that's what a nerd would do.
Yeah.
This is true. Have you ever seen Kick-Ass? Because that's what happens.
No, I have not.
So I feel like it fits his character, but so many people are just this scene ruined the movie. The whole dance scene when he got Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy jealous, that ruined the movie. I'm like, it's what his character would do, in my opinion.
Yeah, people always fight about the nerd thing, because when Andrew Garfield became Spider-Man, or he took over the Spider-Man franchise, people were like, he's too cool to be Spider-Man, because he's not nerd.
Yes.
Yeah.
I liked him though because it was an interesting perspective of Spider-Man.
And it's
he was
cool
and moody and
but even he's supposed to be the Amazing Spider-Man in the comics, he was always a nerd, but I always say Tobey Maguire had the nerdiness down perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But his quips in the suit were very corny, which is Spider-Man.
True.
But he wasn't. I feel like I wanted more.
He wasn't cool enough. He didn't have as much of a transition.
Yeah.
Right.
So
if you could commend him and Tom
yeah,
Holland.
exactly. Having the same train of thought.
If you could mush them together in this weird crossover movie, or just push them together as characters and have that result Spider-Man, it'd probably be pretty good.
But even Andrew Garfield, his Peter Parker was definitely too cool. He skated in the hallway.
He was way too cool.
His hair was always slicked back and awesome, and
he was more of
But he did make a good Spider-Man.
He
Twilight Breaking Dawn kind of character as Spider-Man.
And he could talk to Gwen Stacy so easily. Peter Parker's never supposed to easily talk to girls.
Yeah.
And then when he was in the suit, he did do a pretty good job, but I feel like he was almost too much of a dick at times. Specifically the scene that I think about is when he was tying up the guy trying to rob a car, steal a car.
Right.
And he webbed his hands up, and he was and chew, and he sneezed and webbed his he webbed his dick and hit him in the balls. I was like, that just seemed off-putting.
Yeah. He definitely doesn't seem to fit the overall character model type, but I think he's a good interpretation that some people could have, just to give a difference and depth to the way the character could be. Because Spider-Man's supposed to be, anyone can be Spider-Man.
That's true.
And some people are that way, and some people are, one of the 3.
Mm-hmm.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2, the sequel with Andrew Garfield, the suit though, was probably the best practical suit, because Tom Holland's suit is amazing and it's great because the eyes move, and that's how it is in the comics.
That was in the video we watched.
the Andrew Garfield one is like, someone can make it, and it looks great. This picture perfect.
It's like cosplay versus
CGI,
or one that like you bought off whatever.
Yeah, and like Tom Holland, like I love his performance. Like because even comparing the PS4 Spider-Man, people are like, I love that they skipped the origin story. He's been Spider-Man for 8 years. He's had his fights with the villains, but you also don't need to deal with like the constant. Oh, he's in high school getting bullied. He's dealing with Mary Jane, but like in the game, him and Mary Jane already dated. They already broke up. They're in this awkward state. He's dealing with bills. He's already had his photography job. It's just like, it's a Spider-Man that people like us, we already know all the stuff.
Right. Well, it came out at the right time for when the people growing up with Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 are at now, because we can kind of relate a lot more to that character.
Yeah. And even, I was actually catching up on some stuff with Miles Morales. You know a little bit about him. And I don't know if you know about him, Leah. He is...
Nope. If it's not Spider-Man or Venom or...
So, Miles Morales, he is from the Ultimate Universe. It's a whole new universe, and he's a kid where Spider-Man's been around for years. And he actually saw Spider-Man die, and he ended up getting spider powers and decides to take up the mantle of Spider-Man. Has a different suit. He's also... he's Mexican and black. So
I was going to say, is he the African-American?
Yeah, so he's... And the people liked him so much in the Ultimate Universe, they decided to take him out of that universe and bring him into the normal Marvel Universe.
Okay.
And in the comics now, it's kind of cool because it's adult Peter Parker, like 25. He has his own company, Peter Parker Industries, with the Uncle Ben Foundation. And then there's Miles in high school. So you get both stories of like him doing adult stuff, playing bills, and you also get the high school drama, not Peter Parker, but Miles Spider-Man. So it's a nice connection.
Right.
And that's what the game also did as well, which I thought was really good.
Yeah.
I literally watched you play that game and replay it like the same hour, like 4 times.
The game kept crashing. Of course you do that. The game just kept crashing on me. But
and then Chris played the same like half an hour.
I heard about it because he started a new one when I got home.
Yeah, well, because Chris started it and it was only 1%, and then his was at 10%, but it was the second one in the saved file, and he literally looked at me and he's like, "You're gonna think I'm crazy, but my OCD is gonna kill me if I leave the 1% at the top and the 10% second, and even if I delete the 1%, it's not gonna move the second one to the top." I was just sitting there like, you can do whatever you want. This is not going to bother me, but I literally listened to the same dialogue 4 times in one weekend because nobody got past a certain point.
Yeah.
Sounds like him and Chris.
They weren't even together. They did it at separate times.
I know, that's why it sounds like that.
For real, like Chris and Steph, like they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go up to your room and get changed. Or we're gonna do this." They would go to my hotel room
with me,
with Leah, and then
and then you would ditch us.
Well, no, I had to help out with David because we're setting up Ashley's like balloons to surprise her. So like I was doing that. I got back. It maybe took 30-40 minutes, and they were gone. Then like the next night,
because that was the morning, and we were all tired, and they had come for breakfast at like 8:30 a.m.
And then like the night before. He was like, "Can I play Spider-Man?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. I'll be up there in a little bit." That's when I started talking to Kingdom Hearts, my guy, and I came to the room. Chris is gone. He was gone for an hour and 15 minutes. I had to go find him. I thought he was like lost or at the bottom of the hot tub. See, you just worry too much. I'm like, that's just me.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been worried.
I knew where he was. They're like, check where he was.
I wouldn't get worried until he was gone for like 2 hours.
Was Chris worried?
No,
Chris wouldn't have been.
We all looked at each other and they're like, "Yeah, he's still down there talking to Miles." Was that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, "Yeah, probably." It's like, I'll start there, and if not, I'll go back up to the party because I thought you were trying to find those people that left.
Oh, she started chatting. Laura, she started talking on PlayStation about some game.
Gotcha.
I'm still keeping in touch with them, kind of.
Yeah, he made friends and like stayed out there with them during the night before the wedding.
The night before, yeah.
He also bought Spider-Man 2 hours
and played God of War and stuff.
Yeah, I was like, we all should go in the hot tub, and they like really didn't want him to go, and he was like, please, please, please. So we went and got changed, and they left. They straight just like ditched, and I was like, it's because you harassed them for an hour. And so then the hot tubs were like kind of closed off, so we went to the steam room, which is probably a bad idea considering like people were drinking and
dehydration.
Yeah, that was whoever's idea that was.
So me, Steph, the alcohol in. Sounds fine to me.
Steph, Chris, and I went back up to the room, and they played Spider-Man for a while, and I just like, laid down, and then they were like, we gotta go because we gotta get up in the morning, and they were still almost late to the wedding.
They were late because Chris was... I didn't tell you this.
It sounds just like them.
I was so concerned.
We were asking Chris, like, why are you late? He was like, honestly, Steph was ready. I wasn't. I was trying to figure out my, like, shirt tucked in, not tucked in ratio, and it wasn't going right. I was like, are you serious?
That sounds like something you would do.
It sounds like Chris.
You would.
As you said that, I heard Chris say it.
They were literally 5 minutes until the ceremony started, and, like, it was me, Jack, and Kristen. And we were like, oh crap, we should save seats for them. And then, like, right as we said that, like, 3 people sat next to us, and we're like, guess we'll have to figure it out on the air. Well, we thought they weren't gonna show up, so we were just looking at the door.
Because David said if people are late, they're not getting in.
Right, that's why I was concerned.
Where the hospitality room was, we saw them running down the hallway, like 2-3 minutes before we walked out. I was like, you guys are so stupid.
I was so concerned.
Like, I texted him like 2:30. The wedding started at 3. I was like, you gotta get here, man. Like, people are being seated now. I literally
went on Facebook, friended Chris, sent him a message, and I was like, where are you? Like 15 minutes before the ceremony, and he didn't respond.
Yeah, like, we had no service or Wi-Fi there, so, like, who knows if he got the messages anyway. But yeah, they were almost late.
Yep.
I know. And they were on time for everything else. They showed up the night before the wedding. They showed up for, like, hanging out with people. They showed up early enough for breakfast the morning of the wedding, and then they were late to the ceremony. I was like, everything you didn't need to be on time for, you were. I knew he would have been so upset, and I felt really bad. And Chris and I were like, there's nothing we can do at this point. My parents got the room, it was so fun.
My parents are interesting. I think my dad still listens to this every so often.
I knew you were worried about that. You were like, it's weird. I don't want them to hear me.
What was weird was when we were going to Six Flags, Ben decided to tell me to play one of our podcast episodes with his cousins.
And you're like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Niece and nephew. Not cousins, I would say that. That was a little weird.
See, I thought they were younger than that.
No, not the oldest ones.
Do you have more than one set?
Yes.
Oh.
Our 2 sisters.
Okay, that makes more sense, because, like, I remember him saying he was a bad influence on the little ones, and then you said they were, like, in their teens, and I was like, the fuck? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, no, the old ones are already messed up.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. He said he was a bad influence on the little ones, and I was like, okay, but...
Yeah, kind of.
And clearly the teenagers who never love to drink.
I don't know, maybe.
I doubt it.
She might.
We started listening to, like, a specific one where we just talk crap about it.
About her?
Make one specifically about
Joey,
her.
like, sweet, I'll make it my favorite song on Facebook so everyone can know. Just kidding, she's not allowed on Facebook.
Really?
After what you know happened, yeah.
That sounds like a fun story. What now?
You can tell her.
I should not tell her. Not on this podcast.
Did you turn it back on?
Yeah, it's on.
Oh.
It's been on.
No, it isn't. What we should say on the podcast is a fun story that you have.
About?
I
no,
know.
I'm not telling that. I don't want to do it.
Do it.
I refuse. I will tell him after the podcast is over, but I'm not doing it. I hate you so much.
Come on.
I didn't even want to tell you in front of other people beforehand.
But
I swear, if you ever tell that on your podcast, friendship terminated.
Sweet.
I'm not doing it.
Come on.
Pass.
It's hilarious.
Pass.
It is a great story.
It's not a great story.
It's a fun story.
It's not that good.
It's a really short story. It's
but it's not.
When you tell it, Ben's just like, that's it?
Yeah, I know, but I still don't want to tell it.
Is it embarrassing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. You don't have to.
I'll tell you after, but I'm not doing it on the podcast. I'm walking away from this microphone.
Would you believe me if I turned it off?
No. Just like when you try to see. I know, but you thought about it.
I saved the Snapchat, actually.
Huh? I did.
I believe that you did, though.
I did.
Do you like how I trust him more than I trust you?
This is weird because people. Well, maybe it's because you don't know me that well yet.
Yeah, but I know him enough.
He's the trustworthy friend.
I'll tell him after the podcast is over, but it's stupid.
Okay, so are we doing our outro?
That was attractive.
You kind of spit on me.
I mean.
Outro? You got it.
Nope. Last time, it did not work.
You gotta redeem yourself eventually.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Just someone just do it,
You
please.
do it.
I don't remember what it is.
It is whatever
That's
you
what
want.
Say like this is the end of the podcast between Bagel Bites and Pizza Rolls, and there's no clear winner. No, I'm just kidding. It was Bagel Bites. There's 2 against 1, and the Twitter poll reigns true. But for nostalgia reasons, I will never.
It's okay to be
betray
wrong.
my pizza roll. Did you say it's okay to be wrong?
Yeah.
He's got a fair point.
Anyway, this has been Apartment Shenanigans.
This has been Apartment Shenanigans. Thanks for everyone who's listening. For everyone who is listening and still on this right now, if you could also, whenever you're listening on, give us a review. That would also actually help a lot. And that's it. Thanks for listening. And I feel like I'm missing something. What am I missing, Ben?
Hitting stop.
Coherent thoughts.
2 smart aleck answers at the end there.
Okay. Well, find us on all the podcast listening sites. Talk to you guys later. I've been Avery.
Bye.
Okay, bye.